No piki mai anō. Music artist Catherine Tunks is to perform a series of concerts over the next couple of months. Catherine is New Zealand's own queen of the American Southern Soul, a crossover of blues, soul, country rock and gospel genres. Here's a taste of her latest waiata, Pay No Heed, a blues number about not letting the world get you down. Musical songstress Catherine Tunks has performed and recorded in Ireland, Germany and the US and is with us this morning to share more about her upcoming shows here in Aotearoa. Morena, Catherine, thanks for joining us this morning.
Morena, Neil, kia ora whanau, how are you?
You've performed and recorded music overseas, including the US, where country music is huge. How has the experience been playing overseas?
Really good. I've mostly performed in Europe. I've travelled a lot in the US, and I would say I would call it a research trip. I've performed in Papa Turney's Barbecue in Nashville. Found myself almost mistakenly performing at Smoke Jazz Club in New York. I think when you have a lot of musical friends all around the country and all around the world, it leads you on some crazy journeys. So it's been amazing. I think my trip to Nashville was an absolute eye-opener. There is just no place like it in the world, and it's more to it than just country music. I mean, there's everything there. The fact that a city can exist like that, just its whole purpose is music, its whole function is music, is amazing.
Tell me you've performed in Gore. I
haven't performed in Gore. I've never performed in Gore, and I hope to knock that off the list. I didn't get down there this year. I've performed all around the South, but I haven't actually performed in Gore.
Stop it! The country music capital of New Zealand.
I know. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm a little too sort of out of the box country because I mix up rock and roll and soul and gospel and blues as well.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't like sticking to one thing. I like a lot of different kinds, and I like mixing it all up. And you know, we should be able to do that. You know?
I love that country rock vibe that you've got going on. I love that a lot. What have been some of the highlights of your career to date?
You know, I was thinking about that question, and it's almost too hard to answer. In one way, I sort of think maybe the biggest highlight hasn't been yet. There's been so many gigs. There's been so many former bands. I was in a group called Black Sandiva for quite a long time, and we did a lot of things around the country and played a lot of festivals, so some people might recognise that name. I think when I was in the United States, being behind the curtain on stage at the Grand Ole Opry and going to the Ryman Auditorium, things like that were pretty amazing. But highlights have got to be the friends I've made along the way and the journey taken me on. And another thing I thought about in regards to highlights is sometimes, you know, you don't think it's the fanciest gigs or the biggest audience or the biggest festivals, but one thing I do every year, which I'm really lucky to be involved in and invited to, is the Hukianga Country Music Festival.
Yes!
Which I absolutely adore. It is my most favourite thing. I make time for it every year. It's absolutely spectacular. It's around the entire harbour, Waimamaku, Omapere, Oponone, Rawane, Kuhu, and the musicians just love it. The people out there are amazing, and that's a highlight for me because I get to do it every year, and it's really special.
Oh, that's amazing. You've performed alongside some other Māori musicians, including the legendary guitarist Kara Gordon and drummer Michael Barker. What have you enjoyed most about working with some of these people?
It's always fun working with the boys, the crazy boys. No, those two in particular, they were actually in that video. That was a live video that we did. It was recorded live in the studio whilst we were sort of writing. After COVID, we were lucky enough to go into Revolver and write and spend time together. And honestly, after the COVID experience, all of us were just like, oh my God, other people in the studio, let's work. So I contacted Michael Barker, who's a drummer, percussionist. People might know him from Swamp Thing. It's absolutely amazing. And said, hey, do you want to come in and produce with me and just write and work with me? He's based in Rotorua. And he said, yeah, let's do it. And so we did that, and we wrote about 5 songs. And Jimmy Carter Gordon, half man, half guitar. Phenomenal talent. He, just like me, had a lot of things cancelled, because of COVID. I had a tour with UK blues legend John Mayall lined up. Carter had a tour in the UK and in the United States, and then boom, suddenly it's gone.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, working together just after COVID was just great. It was just great. 2 phenomenal talents, really, really lucky.
Okay, so you're about to release a new waiata, Nightbird, speaks to mental health and depression. Just very quickly talk to us about this and where you're going to be and how we can get tickets to your next.
Nightbird was a post-COVID experience song. I think a lot of creative personalities really found COVID difficult and got into that depression thing. I almost didn't want to release Nightbird because it was a bit too personal, but I'm going to release that at the end of July. Upcoming gigs, there's a few, and they're all as different from the next. Tomorrow night, I'm in Greyland playing country with my brother.
Cool.
Couple of weeks I'll be at the Auckland Blues Club doing a bit of a blues review there on the 30th. Aucklanders, I'd love you to come along to that. And for Matsariki, I'm doing a show with the beautiful Alana Goldsmith. So 2 mana wahine from Te Tairawhiti, they're performing together at Corbyn's Estate Arts Centre on July the 4th on a Sunday in the beautiful church, St Michael's Church, and you can get tickets to that on Event Finder. You can find information about us on Event Finder. Yeah.
Love it. Awesome. Love talking to you this morning, Catherine Tunks. Appreciate your time and good luck for the upcoming shows.
Thank you so much, Neil.
Heading now to Te Puku o Te Ika and Rehua Selwyn, Te Aroa FM.